Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. I always believed in love stupidly, blindly, fiercely. When I met Nathan, he wasn't just charming, he was intentional. He remembered the smallest things, like how I liked my tea or the way I flinched when someone raised their voice. He was thoughtful, warm, and everything I thought a husband should be. We got married 2 years after we met. Our wedding wasn't grand, but it was perfect, intimate, emotional, and filled with people who truly loved us. Or so I thought. The first year of marriage felt like a dream. Late night talks, weekend getaways, random kisses in the kitchen. I told myself, this is what real love feels like. But life has a funny way of hiding cracks until the whole thing collapses. It started small: missed calls, long nights at work, and a sudden obsession with privacy. He changed his phone password, told me it was for security reasons because of his work. I laughed it off, trusted him, didn't want to seem insecure. Then came the perfume. It wasn't mine. It lingered on his shirt collar one evening when he hugged me. Software floral. Delicate. Nothing like the clean, spicy scent of his usual cologne. Whose perfume is this? I asked, trying to sound playful. He chuckled. One of the women in the office hugged me. Relax. I did, or at least I pretended to. But something inside me whispered, pay attention. The whispers became screams when I found the receipt, tucked carelessly in his jeans. A hotel booking for a weekend I knew he was supposed to be on a business trip. Except the hotel was local, less than 15 minutes from our house. I sat on our bed, staring at that receipt like it was a loaded gun. Everything about our marriage flashed before my eyes. Every kiss, every promise, every moment I thought was real. I didn't confront him immediately. Instead, I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed him. That Friday, he told me he was working late. I said nothing. I kissed him goodbye, smiled like a fool, then waited 15 minutes before I got into my car and tailed him. He didn't go to the office. He didn't even go near it. He drove straight to the hotel. I parked a few cars away, hands trembling, heart pounding. I watched as he stepped out, straightened his shirt, checked his reflection in the window, and smiled when she walked out of the lobby. She was younger. Prettier? I don't know. All I saw was the way he looked at her, like I didn't exist. I wanted to scream, to rush out, to cause a scene. But I didn't. I took pictures instead. Proof. Cold. Undeniable. I went back home before him. Sat in the dark, waiting. When he walked in that night, acting tired and stressed, I didn't say a word. I watched him lie straight to my face. And I smiled. He had no idea, but I did. And that's when I decided, if he was going to play a dangerous game, I would too. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there beside him, listening to the steady rhythm of his breath. The breath of a man who thought he had gotten away with it, who didn't know the woman lying next to him was no longer his wife, but a stranger learning how to stop loving him. The next morning, I made him breakfast, just like always. Eggs, toast, coffee, 2 sugars, just how he liked it. He smiled and kissed my forehead. You're amazing, you know that? I smiled back. I know. And that was it. No suspicions. No guilt in his eyes. He really believed I hadn't figured it out, but I had, and I wasn't about to play the victim. That day, I started gathering more. Screenshots, emails, bank statements, everything I could use, not to destroy him, but to liberate myself. Because I wasn't planning to confront him. I was planning to leave him in a way he would never forget. But fate has a twisted sense of humor. One evening, while he was in the shower, his phone buzzed on the counter. I don't know why I checked it. I had all the proof I needed. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was pain. But when I picked it up and saw her name, I couldn't help myself. There it was. A long, gushing message. Last night was amazing. I can't keep pretending I'm okay being the other woman. When are you going to tell her? You promised me, Nathan. Don't make me regret this. I stared at the words, heart racing. She wasn't just a fling. She wanted my life. And he had promised her something. A divorce? A future? Was he going to leave me? I didn't wait. When he came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, humming a tune, I stood by the dresser, phone in hand. I read your message, I said, my voice low. He froze. It took him a few seconds to respond. What message? I held up his phone. The one from her. The woman you've been sneaking around with while kissing me goodnight. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. For once, Nathan, so quick with words, was speechless. I've known for a while, I continued. I saw you two at the hotel. I have pictures, receipts, messages. Still, he said nothing. His face paled. Then finally a whisper. It's not what you think. I laughed. It was a bitter, hollow sound. Don't insult me, Nathan. Silence stretched between us. The truth hung heavy in the air, ugly, undeniable. He sat on the edge of the bed, burying his face in his hands. I messed up, he mumbled. No, I said, my voice stronger now. You chose this. Every text, every lie, every time you came home and looked me in the eyes, you chose her. I turned and began packing. That was the moment he panicked. He jumped up, rushing to my side. Wait, please, we can fix this. It didn't mean anything. I was stupid. You don't cheat on someone you love, as I said. You just don't. He begged. He cried. But his tears didn't move me, because they weren't for love, they were for consequence. And that's when something unexpected happened. My phone rang. I almost didn't answer, but the number was familiar. Too familiar. It was her. The woman. She didn't know I had his phone. She didn't know I had already seen the message, but she knew enough. I picked up. Hello, she said, her voice hesitant. Is Nathan there? I stared at him, eyes wide, jaw clenched. Then I said, no. He's not available right now. But I am. There was a pause on the other end of the line. Who is this? She asked, her voice shaky. I didn't answer her question. I let the silence linger, just enough to make her nervous. Then I said slowly, you know exactly who I am. A breath caught in her throat. Listen, I didn't mean to cause problems. I thought he was going to leave you. He said he would. I let out a cold chuckle. Of course he said that. They always do. And there he was, standing in front of me now, pale and speechless, watching as I spoke to the woman he had risked everything for. You thought you were special, I said into the phone, not taking my eyes off Nathan. You thought you were the reason he was going to change? No, she stammered. He promised you a future, I continued, but forgot to mention he was promising me the same thing. Every night in our bed. She went quiet. Completely. The kind of silence that tells you everything you need to know. I just want to talk to him, she whispered. I shook my head and ended the call. No more words were necessary. Nathan stepped forward. That was cruel. No, Nathan, I said. What you did was cruel. I just gave her clarity. He reached for me again. I made a mistake. I'm human. And I'm done, I replied, stepping back. I zipped up my suitcase. I'm leaving tonight. Panic flashed in his eyes. Please, don't do this. I can fix it. I'll end things with her right now. Just don't leave me. I looked him in the eyes for what I knew would be the last time. You should have ended it before it started. And with that, I walked out of the house we had called home for 6 years. I didn't cry. I didn't look back. I had cried enough. 3 weeks later, I moved into a new apartment, small but cozy. I started therapy. I started painting again. I stopped waiting for his calls. I stopped hoping for his remorse. But one day, something unexpected happened. I got a letter. Not a text, not a call. A handwritten envelope with my name carefully written on it. Inside was a short note from her. I didn't know. I swear I didn't. He told me you were toxic, controlling, cold, that you didn't love him anymore. I believed him. I feel sick every day knowing what I helped destroy. If I'd known the truth, I never would have touched him. At the bottom, in smaller handwriting, I left him. I stared at the letter for a long time. My emotions were tangled, part validation, part bitterness. But one feeling overpowered the rest: freedom. They were both out of my life now, and the best part, I never had to raise my voice. I just let the truth do the work. Months passed, seasons changed, and with them, so did I. I didn't just move on, I transformed. I got a new job, made new friends, grew into a version of myself that didn't flinch at shadows from the past. Nathan had become just that, a shadow. He tried to call once, blocked. He emailed, unread. There was nothing left to say. The pain that once haunted my every breath had dulled into memory. Not forgotten, but no longer powerful. One day, I passed by a small cafe downtown. There, seated by the window, was her, the other woman, alone. She looked thinner, older than I remembered, as if regret had aged her more than time ever could. Our eyes met through the glass. For a second, her face lit up with recognition, then quickly dimmed into shame. She didn't wave. Neither did I, because there was nothing to say. I kept walking, not out of anger, but peace. I had already won, not through revenge, but by refusing to let their betrayal define my worth. 1 year later, a new city, a new life. A bookstore became my sanctuary. I found joy in quiet moments, in sunsets, in laughter that didn't feel forced. And then one day, I met Ethan. He didn't come with charm or drama. He came with presence, stability, honesty. He asked questions. He listened. He didn't try to fix me. He just stood beside me. It wasn't some movie-perfect romance. It was better. It was real. And as we sat on a park bench one quiet evening, watching the stars blink awake, he reached for my hand. "Whoever hurt you, they didn't deserve your heart," he said. I smiled. That's the thing. They never truly had it. Not all of it. Not like this. Final words. Infidelity doesn't end a life. It reveals the cracks so you can rebuild stronger. I thought I had lost everything, but I only lost the pieces that didn't belong in my story anymore. Nathan didn't break me. He set me free. And for the first time in forever, that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Moral lesson. Betrayal may break your heart, but it doesn't have to break your spirit. When someone chooses to be unfaithful, it says more about their character than your worth. True strength lies not in seeking revenge or begging for answers, but in choosing yourself, walking away with dignity, and rebuilding a life that no longer includes people who never deserved your love. Sometimes the greatest revenge is peace. Thank you, my amazing subscribers. Wow, what a journey. If you've made it to the end of this story, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means everything to me. Every time you watch, like, and comment, you're helping keep this channel alive and growing. And trust me, the best is yet to come. I see all your comments. I feel your love, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your thoughts and feedback inspire me to create even more powerful stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More shocking twists, emotional journeys, and real-life lessons are on the way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Together, we're building an incredible community, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes life's greatest lessons come from the most unexpected moments. See you in the next story.